The injury bug has bitten everybody and leaving teams' ILs looking like crowded ERs. I got 10 must-add players you're going to want to add to fill the gap on today's action-packed episode of Locked On Fantasy Baseball.
You are Locked On Fantasy Baseball, your daily fantasy baseball podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, fantasy baseball fanatics, and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Baseball podcast brought to you by the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. As always, we're your number one source for fantasy baseball knowledge, and thank you for making us your first listen each and every day. I'm your host, Matthew Ane. You can find me at Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it these days, at Matthew_Ane. And if you're watching on YouTube, please select the bell below and subscribe to the channel and give you a notification every time we drop a new episode. Also, please leave us a 5-star rating and review on Apple or Spotify, wherever you may listen. It really helps out the show. And if you want a little bit more than what we offer on this 30-minute podcast, check us out on Subtext and become a member of the Diamond Club. We'll be able to get way more information than we offer in this 30-minute podcast a day. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. And all right, this is another crazy day. I apologize it's coming in so late, but hey, I get to be, live with you for once. And this is going to be fun. Dom's not with me because he's coming for me at the end of the week. I'm going on my brother's bachelor party. So I won't be here at the end of the week. So Dom's not here at the beginning of the week. Well, let's get into it. I got 10 names that you're going to want to add this week that I feel are going to be very impactful for your teams, help fill the gaps with guys going down and waiting on guys to come up. Also, I got some good pitchers and things like that I think are going to be able to, help you stream your way to success this week and get yourself a W. So let's get into it. Let's hop into our first guy here. Jacob Wilson of the Athletics, 17% owned. And quite honestly, working himself into a wonderful, wonderful start of the season. He's looking like a serious must-add. I can't believe he's only 17% owned. Nobody's really caught on to him yet, and I'm kind of baffled. But let me bring in the Locked On crew into this at least, right? So far through, 10 games, 37 at-bats, 5 runs, 2 doubles, 2 bombs, 7 ribs, 2 strikeouts, no walks, and he's batting .351, an OBP of .351, a slug of .568, and an OPS of .919. He is really working that ball. Now, he has also an batting average of .336, which is phenomenal. It's a little bit lower than his batting average, but at least it's on point. He's, his expected slug is sitting at .451. Average exit velocity is low for the 2 homers, but it doesn't matter when he hits it home since they're hitting in that itty-bitty baby park. He's barreling about 5.7% of the time, creating hard contact about 34.3% of the time. I would love to see those numbers go up, but he's not whiffing. He's not striking out. He is chasing quite a bit, but I feel like that's all going to be corrected. He is making solid contact when he does hit the ball. So Jacob Wilson as a prospect was somebody that I truly liked. I think that he had a lot of upside even coming in. That's why he was a top 10 prospect at some point. I think he probably still is, if I'm not mistaken. And last year he really did show it off, right? He had their 208 at bats, seven bombs already, 48 runs, 28 doubles, 39 ribs, 2 stolen bases, and he was batting .433. Kid, it really does have some talent. Look, we just got to kind of add this kid and just see where this journey takes us. He could be a true difference maker going into the season, and that guy that ends up being, full-time value come the next month and for the rest of the season. Jacob Wilson could be a game changer for us. Now, there's going to be some challenges. I guarantee at some point during the season, he might have a, let's say a slump because the league has now adjusted to him, but it's going to turn around again. He's going to figure out the kid is a really good hitter. I cannot wait to see what the rest of the season is. So please pause the podcast and add this kid immediately. You don't want to miss out. It's going to be one of those bats this year. Let's move on though. Let's talk about Ben Rice of the New York Yankees, 28% owned. And he's crushing the hell out of the ball. I don't know how long I'm willing to hang on to him. This is kind of like a stream, kind of just ride that wave while he's hot and then kind of like move on type deal, because the batting average profile has never really been there. And this year he's hitting .320, which is absolutely bonkers for me, but I'm going to ride that wave until it kind of implodes. 25 at bats already, eight runs, 2 doubles, 2 bombs, 2 ribs, 2 stolen bases, batting to .320. Like I said, even walking and striking out pretty nicely. 5 walks, 7 strikeouts, an OBP of .433, a slug of .640, OPS of .1073. Like great numbers so far. But, we saw a larger sample size last year where, even though it was first time in the bigs, only put up a 171, really struggled. But you look at just like his profile, even in the minors, And the batting average has kind of been all over the place. I mean, you know, last year he batted 273, but I'm not buying it again. It just the plate discipline has never really seen what I'm seeing here at least. So it is what it is. They'll just ride that wave while it is and kind of just drop them after the fact. Creates great hard contact. Average exit velocity sitting at 97.5 miles an hour, barreling 33% of the time, creating hard contact 72% of the time. Everything about him is just pretty much red. If I was wearing my glasses, you'd see the reflection of just red coming across his baseball savant page. Kid really is just crushing the ball right now. So you need to add him. You can't really pass on him. So I wouldn't say he's like a must add, but if you need a power surgeons and you need a guy that's going to be able to produce for you for a couple weeks, Ben Rice is probably your guy. I'm adding him almost, in any league where I'm, dying for power. Luckily, I did a good job this year, so it's a different story altogether. Well, let's move on. Let's talk about Sean Murphy of the Atlanta Braves. And he's an interesting one. He's coming off the IL, obviously hasn't played an ounce this season. And I think it's interesting. I think there's no playing time question marks. He's going to have every day, play, which is great. And when he was playing last year, he really did have a good season. 233 at bats, 19 runs, 5 doubles, a triple, 10 bombs, 25 ribs, walked 27 times, struck out 67 times. The batting average was kind of ugly, but we've seen 250, the 2 previous years prior to that, 23 and 22. It's going to be all over the place, but out of the catcher position, I don't really care. I care more about the power numbers, the 10 home runs in those small at bats. Even the year before, 370 at bats and 21 home runs. If he can hit, I would say 450 to 500 at bats. There's a strong chance he hits 25 to 27 home runs. The team is good enough around him. As long as he's hitting at a decent part in the lineup, he's going to have, runs and ribs, and he's just going to he's going to produce. And I think that this kind of production coming out of the catcher position is huge. Being only 16% owned, that means he's widely available. He means he's probably out there in some 2 catcher leagues as well. I'm definitely trying to add him. Points leagues, I'd reconsider. He might with the strikeout ratio and things like that. I think might hurt you more than it's going to help you. Being that, especially in 22, where he went, 56 walks to 124 strikeouts, that's not a number you want. 75% deficit between walks and strikeouts. So maybe that's not the wise move, but in roto and head-to-head roto leagues, he's definitely a guy I'm definitely seeking to add. If you watched our mock draft episodes, he was a guy that went late in a lot of our drafts, and he was pretty much our last pick in every single mock draft because cheap, reliable, and we know exactly who he is, and the production is unrivalry at the value with the production. So I kind of like Sean Murphy for this year as a whole. If you were with us all present, if you're new, welcome, and there's still an opportunity as long as as long as you're not in those 16% of leagues. Add this kid now. We've had Ivan Herrera go down. William Contreras isn't performing up to par right now. You might just need to fill the gap. Sean Murphy is active right now, and you should add him. That's really just it. Fill the gaps and kind of stream him in there, even if it's just for a couple weeks till Contreras gets going or until Herrera's back, who's just started off hot. He's one of those good options that you really don't get to find on waivers, especially at the catcher position. So add him now because I think he's even better than Hunter Goodman, who also has been hot going into the season so far. So Sean Murphy is somebody I'm definitely trying to add here, for at least a good chunk of the season. All right, guys, look, I got about 2 more bats. We're going to move into some arms. I got some closers. I got some good matchups for pitchers this week. So just stick around. I'm coming back right after this. Okay, when it comes to performance and fueling your body, quality matters. That's why Just Ingredients has changed the game with clean, high quality products designed to support better health and peak performance. Just Ingredients offers NSF certified line of protein powders, electrolytes, pre workouts, and creatine, all rigorously tested to ensure that they're free from substance bans by the major athletic organizations. Just Ingredients has also partnered with 2-time MVP Bryce Harper, who trusts their NSF certified sports line to fuel his training and recovery. Clean and transparency ingredients is something I love. I love Just Ingredients prioritizes wholesome, nourishing ingredients without all that artificial junk. And honestly, it's really great. They actually sent me a pre-workout, which was pretty sweet. It was a lime, and then they sent me a chocolate protein thing. Was awesome. And whether you're for recovery after a workout or need energy boost, their grass-fed protein and their pre-workout delivers real results. Speak of the devil. Visit justingredients.us and use the code locked on MLB for 20% off. And for more wellness tips, follow at Just Ingredients on Instagram. And look, I mentioned at the top, you want to get back in again. If you want to have an edge on the rest of your league, you're going to want to join us on Subtext and become a member of that Diamond Club. Look, there's prospects that are going to be getting called up soon. There's waiver wire priorities. Like, look, you want to know who to prioritize on this waiver wire episode? You're going to want to get in there because I'm going to give you a ranking after the show. So check us out. Links in the description below. You also get a free 2 weeks. So check us out on there. All right, let's get back in the show. Just like I promised, I got more names to go, and I got another bat for us. So let's get into it. I got Byron Buxton, Mr. Hospital Wing himself. The guy can't stay healthy, but he's still 40% owned. And that means he's available in 60% of leagues. And that is the key part. And he's performing right now. I don't care about his long-term value. We all know that's not there because the dude hasn't played a full season in you look at his baseball reference page, and the word is never. So the most games he's played in his career is 140. But we only care about the now. So let's stream him for the next week. 33 at bats, 7 runs, 2 doubles, a bomb, 4 ribs, 2 stolen bases, and batting .212. Look, I don't really care about the batting average. I care about the upside of him. He has stolen base potential, power for sure, and he's going to get on base, and he's going to be able to produce runs and create ribbies. So Byron Buxton, while he's hot, even though the batting average isn't desirable, I think that might turn around this week and can produce for you. I'm definitely adding him. He's not somebody I'm going out and, going crazy for. He's not my priority. The priority is Jacob Wilson. Like, if you haven't already added him, pause the podcast and do it, please. You're doing yourself a disservice. But Byron Buxton is somebody that's proven time and time again throughout fantasy baseball for the last couple of years. When he's healthy, he produces, and he's a great streaming option for you. So he needs to just be added. The dude has always just been, one crutch away from, being valuable in fantasy baseball. He always hits the ball hard, creates hard contact 50% of the time, even though the average exit velocity isn't there this year right now. Cause again, only a week through. Last year he had 91.7 7 mile per hour average exit velocity. Last year he had 13.2% of the time he barreled. Again, hard hit percentage is still on par as last year. It's at 50% versus 48. He just does everything right in those regards. He just can't bring it all together to stay healthy and to do it consistently all year long. But for now, while he's hot and while the iron is hot, Adam, jump in all day because Byron Buxton can seriously, be the difference between a win and not. And don't be on the other side of that. If you need the power, you need an outfielder. Yeah, do it. Do it 100%. Dylan Cruz hasn't really lived up to it. The draft price wasn't wonderful. So, you might need to fill the hole there. Even James Wood, who's been awesome, he hasn't been the electric pick, the electric price of that pick. If Byron Buxton's performing better, I'm going to sit Wood and put Buxton in. It's just a matter of fact. I need to win. I need to manufacture a win. I can be patient. I'm not going to drop Wood, but I would start Byron Buxton over if he's performing better. So go ahead, add him with confidence because he will at least perform. So let's move on here. Our last bat of the day, TJ Friedel of the Cincinnati Reds owned only 36%, only ownership of 36%. Sorry. Apparently I like to stutter today. So the dude was pretty much hurt for a good chunk of last year, but kind of showed out a little bit through, 297 at bats, 35 runs, 5 doubles, a triple, 13 bombs, 55 ribs, 9 stolen bases, about a terrible 226. But I feel like that is not something we would have saw. I think he's like a 250, 260 batting average kind of guy. This year, he's already off to a good start in that category at batting 289. So far through 38 at bats, he has 6 runs, a bomb, 4 ribs, a stolen base, 2 walks to 5 strikeouts. He's looking good so far. He has the upside to steal bases in 2023 at 27 stolen bases and 18 home runs through 488 at bats. I think the power is pretty much like on par with that. I think he'll have like a 20 to 22 home run season with a lot of stolen bases with a decent batting average. And that's something nice that you're not going to be able to normally get off the waiver wire. And he's sitting there 36% on. Why aren't we going to add him for now and see where this journey takes us? I'm not going to be patient with the dude at all. Like, he's not a guy that I'm like, I have future aspirations for. And I think he's going to be a permanent fix for all of us. But I think he's a guy that, if I missed out on stolen bases, if I want a guy that can possibly chip in a home run or two every once in a while, that a batting average guy that isn't going to kill me in batting average. And with the Reds as a whole, that I think is going to continually get better between the way Strand's playing, between the way Ellie De La Cruz is playing, and the rest of that team. I think that his upside is kind of, being kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? overlooked. And, it's somebody that I definitely want to see where this road takes us. Again, he continues on this path of the production. I'm going to be on board. And I think the batting average, I think, is going to come down a hair, but still going to be sustainable. So let's add him. Let's see where this takes us. And hey, if he falls off a cliff and just, decides to flat out fall on his face, who cares? At that point, you just drop him like he's hot. And you don't care.
Like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot.
It's really just that simple. Just drop him like he's hot, just like Snoop Dogg says. But yeah, let's just move on here. Let's move into some pitching. So if you haven't watched this show in the preseason and you're new, I have been full force, as you can tell, I'm in my Phillies outfit right now, of Jordan Romano. Jordan Romano is being used in high leverage situations, but unfortunately, he's not always being used in the save situation. And that has been really frustrating for me. I had him ranked as my top 12 closer, and I really had some high hopes for him. So I think they're still trying to get him in the groove. But Jose Alvarado, who's 22% owned, that plays for the Phillies, obviously, has been getting some save opportunities. And man, the guy throws like 100 miles an hour for fun. Let's just put it that way. Alvarado, I think, is somebody that we just need to look at. He has 2 saves on the season. I think Romano has like 1 or 2 as well. And it looks like they're starting to use Alvarado, at least right now, in that position. And we just got to pretty much ride it. I'm not dropping Romano whatsoever, but I may add Alvarado as a backup. So I at least have one of the 2 from the Phillies saves, because they're going to have opportunities this year. The team's good as a whole, one of the better teams in the NL. So I want Alvarado on my team and be able to get that save production that's possibly out there. So with Alvarado, I want to say that, like, look, we just need to go out there and add him. It's okay. Maybe he's a roster clog for a little bit, or maybe you want to steal him from another team and just have him on your team and get all the saves that don't go to Romano or going to Alvarado right now. Kirkling has not proved himself. He got hit up yesterday. And he's still young, so I don't think he's going to be able to take that job. It's between Alvarado to lose it and Romano to take it. So right now, this is just where we're at. So one of these 2 guys are going to be ones benefiting from the other failing. Right now, it's Jose Alvarado. It can easily swing to the other side, but it's free 99 right now at 22% owned. Adam, see where it takes you, because everybody can use saves, quite honestly, and you don't want to pass up on that value. Look, coming up next, I got 4 starting pitchers that I think should be added this week. Some I prioritize higher than others, and you maybe find out who I'm prioritizing. You may not. We'll find out coming up after this. I love going to live events, whether it's sports, music, theater, or comedy. One of my favorite memories was attending a concert last year, which was Luke Combs. Great concert. Was at the Link down in Philly. Great concert. Got right on the floor. I use Game Time, obviously. Game Time made it even easier to get tickets for my favorite events, and their new feature, Game Time Picks, really helped me out. This feature filters out all the fluff and shows incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste your time just flipping through all the seats and tickets that are available. Right. Recently, I was looking for a ticket for that concert, and it took me a little bit, but I was browsing, and there you go. I ended up getting getting way better value out of using the Game Time app, and I found the most amazing deal. And I saw the view right from my seat, which was absolutely awesome. The super deal was particularly impressive. It offered great seats and unbeatable prices. Plus, all-in-one pricing shows up as total cost up front, so there's no surprises and fees at checkouts, which, once you hate that, you're looking, and then, oh, this is right in my budget, and then boom, $75 worth of fees pop up, and I wasn't ready for that. Now I can't go, right? Or I got to look for different seats all over again. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms again, create an account, redeem the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game Time. All right, let's get back into it. So our next guy up is Chris Bubic. So he has been interesting playing for those Royals right now, and he has been much better than what I feel I expected out of the dude. 12 innings, 16 Ks, a .71 ERA with a whip of .868. The FIP is even sitting nice at a 151. He's having a nice start to the season. Do I believe in this? I don't really know. I mean, he hasn't really pitched a lot of innings since 2022, and that was 129 innings. And that season, he finished with a 5.58 ERA. Like, the dude has talent. He's still only 27 years old. They do Kansas City has seen in the recent future to handle things pretty nicely for their pitchers. You see what they did with Reagans and things like that, but I don't know how much I'm buying in. But I'm interested. He's doing good things right now, and he's somebody I definitely want to add. He's especially with him only being 33% owned. He's getting great movement on all his pitches. His expected ERA is a 2.16, which is still really good. Expected batting average is a 190. Fastball velocity has never been something that's been mind blowing. It's at 92 miles an hour, but his average exit velocity is really impressive, 84.8%. That's really good. He's really suppressing the hard contact. He's getting guys to chase at a decent rip, almost 30%. Getting guys to whiff 32%. Creating strikeouts 32.7% of the time. Not really walking guys. Not allowing guys to battle at all. 3.4% of the time, and really suppressing that hard contact. You're seeing it in the average exit velocity. And when they do hit the ball, it's only about 31% of the time that they're actually making good, strong, hard contact. I like that about him. I like what he's doing. And you look at what he's doing out on the field with his four-seam fastball. It's really becoming unhittable. The expected batting average is a 188 so far in the season. It's a 235 batting average. Great. And then you look at his sweeper, which has an expected batting average of 171 with a batting average of 154. Even his slider, his batting average is 200. He doesn't have a bad pitch that he's thrown yet this season. He's really putting guys away with the slider. He's putting guys away with wow. Okay. I lost my light. It is what it is with a few of his pitches, and he's really successful right now. So I kind of want a piece of it. I want to see where this journey takes us with Bubic, and if he can really, turn a corner. He still is only 27 years old. Long-term value, I'm not going to hold my breath. But again, if he does pan out, this is great. This is that time of the year where a player comes off the waivers, like a pitcher specifically, and actually has long-term value. Bubic could be that guy. Let's see. I'm not banking on anything under the sun, but add him if he's out there, because you don't want to miss out on like the Seth Lugo of last year. Let's put it that way. All right, let's move on. So about Chris Bassitt. Chris Bassitt's having a nice couple starts too. And he's somebody with a long track record, right? Playing for those Toronto Blue Jays, sitting at 45% owned. And I'm liking what he's doing so far at his age 36 season. 12 at-bats. I mean, not 12 at-bats, 12 innings pitched, 16 strikeouts, sitting at a 0.71 ERA. I mean, you can't get mad at that either. I think he's taking a page right out of Bubic's page, because I think it's the same stat line, funny enough. A 103 whip, looking real good. I'm sorry, a 110 whip and a 103 FIP. Everything is kind of on par. He's doing exactly what he's setting out to do on the mound and is successful. We've had seasons where he's been reliable. I mean, last year was an outlier over the last since 2018, it looks like. So he's somebody that is widely owned, widely available right now. Let's add him and see if we can get even a glimpse of 23 or 22, where the mids 3 ERA, where he pitches 180, 200 innings and gets, at least a K per inning. Like, I'll take that all day, or a little under a K per inning, because that's some serious value coming off the waiver wires. If we can see him have another resurgence to be, as good as those seasons, it's not even asking that much out of the guy. So let's see if he can do that for us. Let's see if he's a great option for us coming into the season. Add him. I think he's going to be a very valuable player. And I wouldn't say pause the podcast, but if you lost McClanahan, you lost Scherzer, you lost Snell recently, he is a decent replacement. Let's see what happens with Chris Bassitt. Let's move on. Let's talk about Tyler McGill, 26% owned, plays for those New York Mets. And he's been another one that's, having a really good start to the season. I don't know how much I'm buying, because he's never really had a great full season. But this year, I'm interested. At least I've added him in a couple places. 10 innings, 10 Ks, a 0.87 ERA with a 0.87 whip. Looking really good. The FIP is sitting at 231. And hey, he is an interesting name. His fastball sits about 95 miles an hour. xERA is at 293. Getting guys to chase at a good rip at 34% of the time. Obviously not getting those whiffs and strikeouts as much, but he's never really been a guy that you really want to count on anyway. It's mixed bags of tricks. 2023, he had, under 21 strikeouts to innings pitched. 2024, he had, 20 over essentially, not even. And this year, he's right on par. Let's see what happens. He's not somebody I'm going to care about all that much because I don't think he's going to have long-term value, but I do want to stream him. He's had two good matchups, two tough matchups, and handle himself well. Let's add him now and see where it goes, right? So I'm adding Tyler McGill and seeing where it kind of goes for this one. Let's move on to my last arm. We're moving and grooving. It's nice. Talk about Matthew Boyd. Matthew Boyd is also having a nice little start to the season. Somebody I'm definitely adding. 16% owned, playing for those Cubs right now. And hey, let's see where this journey takes us as well. 11 innings pitched, 10 strikeouts, no earned runs at all, and a 118 whip. Whip is almost on that high mark, but hey, I'll take it. FIP is sitting at 263 and is doing the right thing right now. When he's healthy, he's proven to have some value sometimes, but he's never really been able to stay healthy. He hasn't really had a full healthy season since like 2019. And the most innings he's pitched, which was back in 2023, 71 innings, he had an ERA of 5.45. So my hopes for long-term aspirations, I don't think are there. But he's somebody that I would like to kind of stream at times because he does have that strikeout upside. 2024, 39 innings, 46 strikeouts. He's always kind of had right on par of a K per inning or at least a little bit over. And if it's a good matchup, I'm willing to roll him out there. He's not somebody I'm looking for long term. I don't think that Matthew Boyd has that in him. I think those days are behind us where those expectations are there for him. He's 34 years old. I think he's well past where he's going to have any serious value. But let's ride that as well. While he's hot, while the iron is hot, let's strike and let's add Matthew Boyd until he, pretty much blows up in our faces as well. If it's a bad matchup, don't do it. Like, obviously, I'm not going to roll him out there against like the Dodgers or the Yankees or the Phillies. But, Brewers, some other bottom feeding teams, then I'll kind of just move on. I'll probably throw him out there, but let's see. He's a good streaming candidate for this year. So I'm going to pretty much just get on board with that and see where it takes us. Now, since I'm live, I'll give everybody 5 seconds. If you have a question, throw it out there right now. But until then, I'll keep talking. Otherwise, I'll close it out. Actually, I see people talking about Veen. You know what? Also, Veen did get the call today of the Colorado Rockies. Hey, he's worth a shot. I'm not the biggest Veen guy. That's why he's not really on this show. He's just an interesting prospect. He's fast as can be and going to hit in Colorado. So if you want to go out there and add him, get the excitement, go for it. Other than that, I probably not going to touch him at all unless I need stolen bases. That's really just where I stand with Veen. Again, there's other guys I'd probably prioritize over him. Let's see. So it is what it is. I got one question. Pepio or McGill this week for points leagues head to head? I'll probably, let me see who McGill is actually going up against right now. Because I did add McGill this week for fun. Let's see. Sorry, I don't mean to have quiet airtime. Here we go. Tyler McGill is playing against, it looks like, either the Athletics or Miami. Probably more like Miami, let's say. I'll probably roll him out there over Pepio. Let's put it that way. So let's see what happens. I don't really like the minor league park with Pepio. Pepio kind of like this for me. I'd move on. I'd go with McGill. But all right, guys, that's all I got for today. So please like, subscribe, comment, rate, review. Thanks for hanging out with me and joining me live on one of our few live episodes. And please like, subscribe, comment, rate, review, do everything you can to share this show because we really enjoy it. And if you want a little bit more than what we offer on the 30-minute podcast, check us out on Subtext and the links in the description below. When you're done, check out my boy Sully over at Locked On MLB for a great MLB takes all day long. Peace out, guys.